And now there's also talk about potential Gustavsson discussing some extension talk with Gustavsson coming into preseason here. It sounds like, I think the way that Russo said it, it was like Gustavsson's open to. When I first read it, it sounded like they were starting. And then I read it like a couple hours later. I was like, oh, wait, he's open to contracts. That's okay. That makes a lot of sense. This one is going to be interesting, by the way. I actually have no idea where this is going to go.
So I asked Joe about this in last week's episode, which anyone that didn't check it out, Devin Dubnyk is an incredible interview. That guy is so funny.
Such a beauty.
He is an absolute beauty. And I said it in the episode too, but like I did not realize he had that level of personality when he was with the team. Like it was never really properly showcased. Guy's awesome. So anyone that missed that interview, go back last week, check out Fellowship of the Rink. Devin Dubnyk rocks. But I asked Joe about the goalie situation, and I'm like, all right, how does the Gustafsson thing shake out? And more importantly, 2 years from now, who's the Wild starting goalie? He says Gustafsson. But he also said 1A, 1B with Wallstedt, which is what we're all hoping. And I think it's the perfect solution. Like, if you can get Gustafsson under a reasonable number for, I'd say, anywhere in the range of like 3 to 4 years kind of vibe, which probably isn't going to be cheap. I'm okay with that if he's like having a good season. Like we were defenders last year. Now, granted, do we think that he'd pop off like he did this year? Maybe not, but I think we believed that he was a lot closer to the elite goalie that we saw than the shit goalie that we saw. And I don't think Wallstedt's there yet, but we've been pretty outspoken too. It's way too early to give up on this kid. So many factors led to what was a bad season last year, and goalies don't pop until their mid-20s, by and large. He's got a couple more years for that, and I think working under a fellow Swede, being able to share the net more or less, ride whichever goalie's hot, I think it does really well for both of them. It gives competition at the same time as giving good support, having a little insulation for when a guy maybe isn't there for a week or a month. I love the idea of like 3 to 5 years of a Gustafsson-Wallstedt tandem.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine, like, because beyond just the specifically with Wallstedt, like whatever, people are gonna have opinions about how it's gone. So like I don't even really care about any of that. The bottom line is we have absolutely no idea what he's gonna look like coming into this season. Like even when he's been very, very good in Iowa and was literally an all-star, an AHL all-star his first years, he was still like right around or still below 500, just above a 900 because that team was so fucking bad.
Yeah.
So we have like no idea what he's gonna look like now that he has. I can't believe it's so funny that like he had such a bad year last year. He's like, hey, congratulations, you're now starting your $2 million one-way deal. Like I love it for him because I love the kid, but we have no idea what he's gonna look like coming into this season. So I mean, like obviously they're gonna be like leaning hard on Gustafsson, and you know I'm sure they want to like sign him to a mid to long-term deal potentially. And just because like even if Wallstedt looks good his first 15 20 games this year, assuming he plays 20, because I mean we have no idea. Like they have Cal Peterson here, assuming he gets through waivers, assuming he goes down to Iowa, but who knows. So like you still can't just confidently project that the 2 years of this contract are gonna be great for Wallstedt anyway. So I was just like going through what Russo was saying too, and he had mentioned that like on Evolving Hockey, like on a long-term deal, I think Gustafsson was coming in around like 7 point something. That feels high. And just going off the 3 years that he's been here,
6 or 7.
The 3 years that he's been here, we're trending toward a bad Gustafsson year because it was really good, really shit, really good. Like then now we are year 4. We'll see what it looks like.
So here's the question then. What's worse? If the Wild sign him tomorrow and then this year is shaky, or if they don't and he is like in the Vezina conversation, and then they have to either overpay or let him walk. Like what's the shittier scenario? I don't know.
Well, yeah, I don't really know. Again, because even if Wallstedt was great this year, you still can't like be like, oh, there we go. Now we know. Like this is what it's going to be for the next 15 fucking years of his career. So like either way, like I think you're gonna hope to get Gustavsson on a long-term deal and pray that it's not going to be a number that starts with 7. Because I mean, it is interesting too, just looking at some of the goalies that have been signed recently. Like it is all over the place. Like you have guys like Dostal at Anaheim, Anaheim, right? Is that?
Yep.
6.5 million. You have Logan
he's
Thompson,
young too, isn't he?
Yeah, 5.85. Mackenzie Blackwood, 5.25. Joey DeCourt's at a $5 million deal. Karel Vejmelka's making 4.75. And then you've got guys like Aiden Hill making 6.25. He's won a Stanley Cup. Like the goalie market is really all over the place.
The
and
term
really guys
is key though.
Right.
Like I think the term is more important than the AAV, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it was like for me the sweet spot would be like a 5-year deal.
See, I think a 6x4 is where, like, which side is upset about that?
Yeah, I mean, like you have to give him a good contract right now, just because again, like you have Wallstedt for 2 years at whatever 2.1, and like again, even then you still don't know what it looks like beyond that, anyways. So like ideally, you don't want to just assume that Wallstedt's gonna like come in completely turn last year around and just like light it up for 2 years and be confident that like this is the goaltender that we're gonna have here for 15. Like so either way, just like might as well. I am down with giving Gustavsson a 5-year deal. Decent enough dough, like 5.5, 6 million, 6.25. I don't know. Like he's put up ridiculous numbers when he's on. It's just again the inconsistency makes you nervous, and then it's like if you get this contract wrong and Wallstedt doesn't go well, then you're kind of up a fucking creek. So like you're like, ah, shit, we have nothing, and we're spending like $9 million on goaltending that can't buy us a win. So it's gonna be interesting, but. Either way, I'm confident that he is closer to what we saw last year than what we saw 2 years ago. So I am very much happy with giving him 5 years. Because again, you still want to buy Wallstedt more time. Like, don't want to just be like, all right, here you go. Like, good luck. 35, 40 games this year. But like Joe said too, like ideal scenario, like 1A, 1B. For I don't know, couple of years. So we'll see.
Like a Boston.
It's just so weird looking at the goalie contracts now.
It is. Yeah, I don't know.
And it's still like it's the one position too where like even with the cap like going up significantly for the first time basically in our fucking lives. I mean since it came in, I'm not like let's just give goalies more money. I'm like that scares the shit out of me either way. Well, I'm fucking terrified, and I don't want to not have it either. So I don't fucking know.
You know what scares the shit out of me is that I don't think any of the front offices know more about it than we do. And that's not saying we know a lot. That's saying no one fucking knows about goalies. It's voodoo. It is. Year in, year out. There's going to be ebbs and flows. And I mean, people like to hinge everything on goalies. So many goalies get blamed for shit play in front of them, you know? But that's why if you find a guy that you think can bail you out of shit play, you're going to throw the bag at him. Right.
It's crazy, too, because, like, was it Logan Thompson? Yeah, he just signed a new deal for just under $6 million. But what's crazy is like last year, Washington had that turnaround season while they're paying him like $800,000. They're paying Charlie Lindgren $1.1 million. Like they had like 2 goalies who were putting up ridiculous numbers for less than $3 million, less than $2 million on the cap. It was crazy. And Washington did what they did. Like, so goaltending is all over the fucking place. Weirdly, the salary cap like going up a lot somehow complicates how I understand how we should paying goaltenders even more so. Like I have no fucking idea.
I'm worried, not in the next year or two, but like, let's talk 4 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when the cap keeps going up and we start to see baseball where you've got like a third of the league spending to the cap regularly, a third of the team that's like, nope, we're just here to make money, and a third of the league that like kind of fluctuates back and forth depending on how their squad looks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't like that. I did also learn, and it was kind of surprising, they had a big blowout episode because they haven't had one in a while for 32 Thoughts. And they interviewed a handful of people of the league, among which we had Ron Hainsey and I forget the other guy's name. I think Walsh, maybe. But they were talking about the new CBA. And apparently, like, this is what I originally thought, but everyone told me no. None of this shit goes into play until a year from now.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, when Kaprizov signs his next deal, it's under the current structure,
right.
even if he goes to free agency.
Mm-hmm.
Because the one thing that I thought was going to be a big lever to get him done wasn't the term, because we've already kind of established he's probably looking for a shorter term. I really thought we were going to be able to throw like bonuses and stuff at him as a benefit that wasn't going to be as exploitable. He can do that July 1st with any team. So that's a bummer. Is what it is.
Just keep stressing about it. Let's just keep getting anxious.
I'm not stressed yet. I'm
Heroes.
pre-stressed. Flyer Voracek. If Wallstedt pops during the next contract, you can always trade Gus to Edmonton for a fortune because death, taxes, and Oilers having no plan and goal. This is true, but then also, like, what do they have to offer? Like, Bill Guerin's not going to trade for Ike Howard because he's famously 1 inch taller than Marco Rossi. So say goodbye to that.
We'll take McDavid. One.
We'll take the lesser 97.
If Edmonton retains.
Riley chimes in. It was funny listening to Russo's interview with Gus talking about oversharing information with Wally versus the last couple of years with Fleury. He said they share everything with each other. I haven't listened to the interview yet. I plan to. That's interesting. I also wonder how like tongue-in-cheek or like joking vibe it was, but I'm sure it's valid to an extent. Like, until
I was just
Gus
reading the
has his
article.
next deal.
Yeah. I mean, I was just reading the article that Russo put out as he was saying that Gus was open to contract extension talks or whatever, like leading into preseason. It was like he was definitely chuckling. I mean, the other part of that is like it's Marc-Andre Fleury too. Like they're gonna be very excited to share whatever Marco Fleury wants to know. Like, be like, yeah, I'll just tell you whatever. Yeah, you're the best. I love you. But I mean, very different kind of guy. Also, like Gus barely knows anything about Wallstedt. It was interesting too in the article. He was like, Gus was in like accident. I think it was like last year, maybe accidentally like kind of insinuated that like he had heard from his contacts in Sweden like not great things about Wallstedt. And then so he was like, hey, he's actually like really funny. He's got a very silly sense of humor. Like basically he's like contract or like to what I've been told or whatever. Like it was very funny. I don't think he actually meant to insinuate that, but he was chuckling along, just being like, yeah, he's actually like really funny. He got a very funny, silly sense of humor. He's like good kid. I was just like, which wasn't expected. I forget how he said it, but it was like a ridiculous quote. It was like, oh shit.
Dude, I gotta say it too. We're almost at 80 episodes now of Fellowship, and we've had interviews for somewhere between like 60 and 70% of them. And he's one of the more fun interviews we've done. Like he's just
Mhm.
like he carries himself in a certain way where he can be funny, but he's also serious, but he also like is very self-aware. I don't know. I enjoyed Wallstedt a lot, and I'm
Mhm.
excited to see what he can do, even if he's only playing like a third of the games this year behind Gus. Like I'm excited to see what he can do with a little bit more leash, not having to sit there and look over his shoulder and be like, "Am I getting sent back down to Iowa? What the fuck?"
Yeah, I mean, regardless of how it goes, like you're here, bro. Like, I mean, it's again, it is absolutely absurd that there was a legit plan that they were confident in that they were going to rotate 3 and fucking like just send him up and down, like whatever. Like it was insane that they're like, yeah, this is probably a good idea, right? So now it's just like he knows what to expect. He knows what he's been like trading for this offseason. I just have a suspicion that just like taking that weight off his shoulders to start the year is going to at least like help him out a little bit mentally, if nothing else. When the kid had 3 fucking injuries last year, 3 different fucking injuries that like made him miss time, and they're like, let's have you take a week-long mental reset, which like he just was away from hockey for a week. Like that was a fucking crazy year for Jesper Wallstedt.
Very crazy.
So here, Wilson.
Very, very crazy.